The United States is in the grip of one of the most relentless severe weather stretches in recent memory. 5 consecutive days of confirmed tornado and storm threats have battered communities from the plains to the Great Lakes, and forecasters are warning the worst may still be ahead. At least 8 people have lost their lives this week as powerful storms tore through the central United States. In southern Michigan, an EF3 tornado ripped through Union City on Friday, March 6, killing 3 people and injuring 12 others in Branch County alone. A separate EF2 tornado struck near 3 rivers, causing further fatalities and reducing homes to rubble. Witnesses described roofs flying through the air and entire structures being shredded within seconds. The Michigan tornadoes are among the most significant in the state's recent history. Michigan averages just 15 tornadoes per year, making Friday's outbreak a historically rare and devastating event. Governor Gretchen Whitmer activated the State Emergency Operations Center and declared a state of emergency across Branch, St. Joseph, and Cass counties. The death toll does not begin in Michigan. On Thursday night, a 47-year-old woman and her 13-year-old daughter from Fairview, Oklahoma were killed when a tornado struck their vehicle. That same storm system produced 7 tornado reports stretching from the Texas Panhandle to south-central Kansas, with a first responders' dash cam capturing lightning illuminating the massive funnel near Fairview. The engine behind all of this is a cut-off low-pressure system that has been parked off the coast of Baja California for several days. This so-called Baja low has been funneling warm, moist Gulf air northward at an extraordinary rate, combining with a powerful cold front to create the atmospheric instability responsible for this week's destruction. Temperatures across much of the eastern United States have been running 20 to 30 degrees above normal, with some locations reaching 40 degrees above average. Fuel that severe weather systems thrive on. Tonight, Saturday, March 8th, the active threat is not over. A squall line is moving through the Ohio Valley, and the National Weather Service has issued a tornado watch covering Ohio, Pennsylvania, New York, and West Virginia. The highest tornado risk runs through a corridor from Pittsburgh through Akron, Canton, Columbus, and into northern West Virginia. Squall-line tornadoes are particularly dangerous because they are rain-wrapped, they cannot be seen from a distance, and they develop fast. Severe thunderstorm and localized tornado risk also extends through North Georgia, Alabama, and into the deep south tonight. Temperatures are warm and winds are already gusting, a combination that is often misleadingly calm before storms arrive. Throughout the night, instability will linger across Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, and the Gulf Coast of Texas. Sunday, March 8th, provides a brief but limited reprieve for most of the country. There's still a marginal risk of severe weather across the Carolinas and Virginia, where straight-line winds and hail are the primary concerns if storms develop Sunday afternoon. The Mid-Atlantic can expect lingering showers through early Sunday before conditions stabilize. Monday, March 9th, is the most important day of the entire week, not because of storms, but because of preparation. Meteorologists are urging residents across the south-central United States to use Monday's relative calm deliberately. So, charge devices, identify shelter locations within your home, review evacuation routes, particularly in flood-prone areas, and make sure emergency alerts are active and set to their maximum volume on every phone in your household. That preparation window matters because Tuesday, March 10th, is shaping up to be the most significant severe weather day of this entire stretch. The Baja low will be pushed into the plains by an incoming upper-level trough, snapping the jet stream into a textbook severe weather configuration, and once again, surging Gulf moisture north. The Storm Prediction Center has already placed a 15% severe weather probability for Tuesday across a corridor spanning Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, Missouri, Arkansas, Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, Tennessee, Mississippi, and Louisiana. That's 11 states. Both the European and American GFS forecast models are in strong agreement for Tuesday's setup, which is pretty significant when projecting 6 days out. Multiple meteorologists expect that 15% risk figure to be upgraded to an enhanced risk designation as Tuesday approaches. Cities including Dallas, Fort Worth, Oklahoma City, Topeka, Little Rock, Memphis, Nashville, and Joplin all sit within or near the threat corridor. One factor that makes Tuesday's event especially dangerous is, honestly, its timing. The most severe conditions are expected overnight, which means storms will be passing through while millions of people are asleep. Overnight tornado events, carry a disproportionately high mortality risk. Sirens may not be audible indoors, and visual cues that might alert people during daylight hours are just absent. Weather alerts on mobile phones are, by far, the most reliable warning system for overnight events, and officials are urging everyone in the Tuesday corridor to make sure those alerts are enabled before going to sleep Monday night. On Wednesday, March 11th, the threat shifts east. Louisiana, Mississippi, Tennessee, Kentucky, Indiana, Ohio, West Virginia, Pennsylvania, and southwestern New York all enter the picture as a powerful low-pressure system is expected to sit near the Great Lakes, with Arctic air pushing in close behind. The collision of warm, humid air ahead of the front with cold, dry air behind it is, honestly, a recipe for continued severe weather. Thursday, March 12th, brings the final significant threat of this pattern, this time for the eastern seaboard. Virginia, Maryland, and the mid-Atlantic coastline will be watching the timing of a cold front arrival closely. If it moves through during afternoon heating hours, risk levels elevate significantly. The broader rainfall picture across the next 10 days compounds the concern. 3 to 6 inches of rain are forecast across a wide swath of the country. East Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas, and Mississippi are particularly at risk for flash flooding, as soils in those areas are already saturated from earlier this week. Additional rainfall totals on top of ground that can no longer absorb water will translate into rapidly rising water levels, particularly in low-lying areas. After Thursday's cold front sweeps through, the severe weather pattern is expected to break down. A pattern shift is on the way, with temperatures dropping 5 to 15 degrees below normal in some areas. Then, around March 16th through 19th, both major global forecast models are in agreement on a more significant Arctic air intrusion. A pronounced trough in the east and a ridge in the west will push cold air far enough south to raise serious questions about late-season snowfall for areas well outside the typical snowbelt. In a striking illustration of March's extremes, the same region of Michigan that suffered a deadly EF3 tornado on Friday could be watching for snowfall by the weekend of March 14th and 15th. For residents across the central and southeastern United States, the message from meteorologists is consistent. This week is not a situation where a lower probability forecast can be dismissed. Last week's tornado that struck Three Rivers, Michigan, was initially flagged as a marginal risk. It killed people. Every level of the severe weather risk scale represents a real and credible threat to real communities. Emergency officials and meteorologists alike are asking residents to take 3 immediate steps. First, confirm that emergency weather alerts are active on every mobile phone and set to maximum volume, not on silent. Second, identify a shelter location in your home now, before any storm arrives. The lowest floor, an interior room away from windows. Third, if you know someone who may be unaware of the forecast, an elderly neighbor, a college student, a relative in an affected state, send them a direct message before Tuesday arrives. This is U.S. Storm Center.